Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben, Architect Ben. Today I'll be talking about something I termed evil spouses. And what do I mean by evil spouses? Today I'm talking more of the men folk, evil husbands. Wives can do that as well, but this is more tailored towards the men. And that's why, even though I titled it Evil Spouses, but I think the men folk do more of that than the women. Just take a scenario. I want us to look at this. Place yourself in this situation. You watching and listening to me today. Assuming you're a parent, right? You have a girl child. And you train this girl child from preschool, pre-nursery, to nursery, from nursery to primary, from primary to secondary school. You didn't just stop that secondary school, you trained her all up until university. And today, I believe most of us parents don't just even leave our girl child at the first degree level. We also sponsor them to masters and probably PhDs. Now, assuming you spend all this time, all these resources, all these energies, sometimes from lack, sometimes from need, sometimes from want, you put all your energy in training this girl child, and to the glory of God, this girl child succeeded. She was able to make it. Let's assume now that this girl child studied one of the professional courses. I'm not saying any courses is not important. All courses are important, but let's assume the course that takes more time and more money and more energy. Look at medicine, look at law, look at engineering, look at architecture. Those courses are very expensive and they're time consuming. And you don't just sometimes finish them at a go. Like for medicine, you have to go up until 6 years or more for you to become a doctor after houseman and everything. To become an architect, you have to go through the first 4 years, the second 2 years, and the third 3 to 4 years again before you become a registered architect. So look at all this, put all this together. I'm talking to you listening to me. I'm talking to you watching me. Now, put all these things together. You train this girl child through this process. And she, by the grace of God, graduates. And you became excited. You became happy that your daughter has finished from all these courses that she has studied. And now she can now start practicing. Then she brings home a man whom she says wants to marry her. And you consented to it. And this young man got married to your daughter. And he took her to his home. The next you heard from them is that this man has relegated your daughter to a full-time housewife, asking her not to practice what she has studied in school, asking her to put her certificate under her pillow, asking her to put her certificate in her box, and bear the title full-time housewife. How will you feel? It's the question I'm asking you today. How will you feel? That this girl that you spent so much on, that you invested so much in, has been relegated to the background as a full-time housewife. The man telling her she can't practice her profession, what she studied in school. You watching me, you listening to me, how will you feel? Is it that all you've invested in this girl child has gone to the gutters? All you have invested in this girl child has become a waste, or what? And as Africans, it's not a license here. It's not a license. But as Africans, mostly we believe in a cycle of life. It's an unwritten rule. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying we should use our children as our collateral or use our children as our retirement plans. But the way we are being brought up or trained in Africa, the cycle continues. A parent gives birth to a child, train the child through school, spend all their resources, in fact, deprive themselves of every form of livelihood. No holidays, no breaks, nothing, just work to pay fees, to take care of them in school, to make sure they are all right, to make sure they are medically fit, train them all through, believing that one day when they retire and these children doing well can in turn come to support them. And now one man from somewhere has now married this girl and have now relegated the girl back to the background and degraded her to a full-time housewife, whereby this girl cannot work and support her parents that have invested so much in her and on her. How will you feel if you are that parent that have invested so much in this girl and today they've told her she can't work, she cannot work? How will you feel? That is exactly what some men are doing to their wives today. Two sides to the story. Yes, some men have agreement with their wives during courtship and say, look, within this period of our courtship, of our marriage, please, can you sacrifice your time for the kids' upbringing to a level, while myself as the man, I'll make sure I do all the work to bring to the table everything you need for sustenance for yourself and the baby. That is acceptable between the two parties if they agree. I did that with my wife. When I got married to my wife, before I got married to her, we had a discussion. We sat down, during our courtship, we had those discussions. Everything we want in our marriage, we discussed that during our courtship. And we agreed that, look, for now, pause your ambitions about work. And the first couple of years, let's dedicate that time you to the home front while I face the outside world to make money that can sustain the family. We agreed. She agreed to that. We agreed to that. And we followed that timetable strictly. When the last baby came and she was able to, the last baby could stand and do some stuff all by herself, my wife went back to work full time. Full time is an agreement. That's understandable. The second point is some men actually agree to these proposals or to these discussions during courtship. But when they eventually get married, they renege on that. And they say, look, I'm the man of the home. Therefore, you have to do what I say you should do. And they start quoting all kind of scriptures from the Bible, from the Holy Book, depending on what religion they profess to. And they now use religion now to blackmail the wife, and use African tradition to blackmail the wife, and the man, you're disobedient and all that, and now strangle the lady to a corner or box her to a corner and relegate her to the background. This is deceit, and this is why I call them evil husbands, evil spouses. Because why? You are so selfish to a fault that you don't want your wife to work. Sometimes because of threat, sometimes because of low self-esteem, sometimes because of jealousy, competition. You just feel if she goes out there, she can do better than yourself, because probably she studied something better than you, and you feel, why take the shine off me? I can't live with the fact that my wife is working and earning better than myself. Come on, that is evil. That is evil. If you are such a husband or such a man, how will you feel if your daughter does that to you tomorrow? How will you feel if someone else do that to your sister? And worse still, how do you think the parents of that girl should feel? You've broken the promise you've given them. You've gone back on your word that, oh, you will allow the girl or their daughter to express herself in terms of work and practice what she has studied and, work on what she has learned. And today, you are going back on what promises you gave to her parents and to the girl. How evil can a man be that you let this girl's brain waste? You let this girl's effort go to ruin. How do you feel that lady will feel about you? Why do you think that her going out to work or her going out to do what she has studied will be a threat to your home? In fact, if I must tell you the truth, you are losing out. If you allow your wife, in most cases, to work and to earn a living, your home becomes better. And take it or leave it. I'm not saying women do some nasty things that gives them favor, but naturally women are more favored than the men, even in the workplace. because we look at them as the more fragile and tender species. So sometimes they just cut natural favor, not because they're giving out anything in return. They cut natural favor from the workplace, which means that they bring in more at the end of the day to the table than even the man. And when a woman has given her all to the family, those families that she has given her all to, they progress rapidly. But a lot of the men folk, they now, suppress this lady and don't allow her to practice what she has studied in school, making all her years in school and her parents' sponsorship a waste. How evil can a man be? How evil can a man be? And if today we want to take the statistics, like it or not, the men pass on earlier than the women. Now you've relegated your wife to the background as a full-time housewife, no skills, no work, nothing outside your cycle of a family. And when you pass on today, what happens? She becomes confused. I've been able to talk to a lot of widows, and I tell them what made them cry more when their husbands pass. And they say, when their husbands pass, they don't know what to do. They are lost because why? They've all been dependent on the man all these years. And now that the man has gone, they don't know even where to start from, who to turn to, what to do, because why? They've been relegated to the background as full-time housewife without any skill. Why subject your wife to such situation as a man? Why subject your family to that kind of circumstances when you eventually pass on before them? My advice to you as a man today, if you're in that position, please rethink your decisions about your family. Don't be one of those evil men that I've listed in this category. Your parenting law didn't train your wife to that level of education so that you can relegate her to the background. They didn't do that. They supported her through her academics so that tomorrow she can be of benefit to you as a husband, because you're going to enjoy her even more than her parents, to be a benefit to us, to her children, to be a benefit to the society, and to be a benefit to them as her parents. Why be this selfish? Why be this so wicked to relegate this lady to the background? So today, if you fall in the group of those evil men that have relegated their wives to the background because of jealousy, because of envy, because of competition, I want you to have a rethink today. Your wife is worth better than just being a housewife, termed full-time housewife, because she can do more for you than you even think or imagine. I'm not saying she should go out and practice and become a competitor in your family. No, you're not competing. You're working towards a common goal, which is the prosperity of your family. So if you're a woman hearing me today, if I'm talking about you being free to become expressive in terms of your skills and education, don't take that out as, we are now equals. You can be equals because you're partners in progress, but don't make it a competition that because you studied a better course than your husband, you cannot rub it on his face. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying both of you should work together and synergize to make your home a model for your kids. And for you as a man, once your wife start earning something, she can help her parents without even disturbing you or asking you for too much. Because I believe that the sensible wife also asks for permission before she even gives to her parents or siblings. So please, if you're in that category today, I want you to rethink your situation, and I want you to have a rethink on how you have planned your family just for you alone to be struggling, working and working all your bones and all your fingers out just to take care of your family all by yourself because you want to have to remain a full housewife. Rethink that position today, and I hope that with this little expose today, our homes will become better. When both parties plan together on how to bring up their kids, without obstructions, and how to structure the family to make it a model and a role model for others, I think we'll be in a better place as a society. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And if you're in that position today, you need help, you need counseling, you need someone to talk to on how to work out things. Because I was in that position before, like I said, I did that with my wife. We had a plan for ourselves. We had target, and by the grace of God, we were able to meet that target. And both of us are doing well today, working in our own different fields and spheres of life, and bringing the family of the children up together. That's what I want us to do. If you need someone to talk to, don't hesitate. Just send me a DM, and I'll reach out to you and have a discussion with you on how you can make your home a role model for your kids and a model for others to watch and look up to. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification button, and don't forget to press that like button as well. See you in the next video. My name once again is Ben, Architect Ben. Bye for now.